Hi there, my friend Chad Reyes. Excited to spend this time with you. And today we're going to be talking about knowing your identity. And if you've ever heard me speak at an event or you've ever been in the room when we're talking about this topic, I always talk about the difference between role and identity. So today I want to talk to you about identity, and I want to break down identity. Identity is who you really are. And there is power in knowing who you are. Today's going to be a little bit of a different message because we live in a world that is trying to really create and change who you really are. We have so much marketing that goes around, that literally is consuming us, the amount of messages that we take in a day. And I don't know if you know this, but approximately we have 12 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. And if we don't know our identity, those thoughts are going to be negative. On average, 80% of those thoughts are negative, and 95% of them are repetitive. So it's so important to know our identity, because if not, everything around us will tell us who we should be. So for me, my identity is found in only one thing. Now, I'm a person of faith. I'm going to share with you something that I'm not pushing it on you, but I need you to hear me because it defines everything that I do. See, my identity is found in who God tells me I am. And He says that I am built in His image. So I do everything out of that I'm built in His image, and that's the reason why I've been designed for greatness. That's the reason why I was designed to impact millions of people. That's the reason why I can step forward when others step backwards. It's because I'm operating out of the identity, and my identity is that I am a child of my Father, and I'm built in His image. Now, let's take a step back for a moment and look at the difference between role and identity. Because this is the struggle that we're seeing in the world that we live in. People not knowing who they really are, and then people thinking that who they really are is how they operate in their role. And when you confuse that, when you confuse your identity with your role, it's a tough one. I've lived there. You feel like you're literally a ping pong ball, going back and forth, stress, overwhelmed, fear, doubt, anxiety, worry. I've been there. So I'm going to give you this little analogy. In my identity, because I believe, now, like I mentioned, I'm a person of faith, so to me, my identity says that I'm always a 10. And I don't allow the outside pressures of this world to tell me that I'm not a 10. Now, I'm not ignorant to recognize that there are times where I'm not operating in my role as either husband or wife, or parent, or business owner. But I need to understand identity and role, because when you understand identity and role, it'll be a game changer for you. My identity never changes. If I'm not doing well in business, my identity's still a 10. If maybe I messed up in the house and I was rude to my wife, my identity's a 10, but my role as a husband may be a 5 at that time. You see, but we live in a world that tries to take the two, merge them together, and make us believe that that's the only person we are. And if we're not doing well in business, then our identity is demolished. Or if we're struggling in our marriage because we're not communicating well with our spouse, well, we're terrible. Everything is falling apart. My friend, I want to ask you to be able to look at those two. Now, for me, and I would encourage you to look into this as well, but I'm not a person who likes to push my faith on others, but for me, I'm a 10. And I'm not a 10 because I've chosen to be a 10. I'm a 10 because my Father says I'm a 10. His Word says that I'm built in His image. And I believe that. I believe that at every fiber of my body. And I operate out of that. Now, the next part is in our roles in life: parent, wife, husband, business owner, not-for-profit leader. Our goal is to become a better leader so that we can get better results in those areas of our life. But don't ever confuse the two. Don't ever confuse identity and role. If you confuse identity and role, you will live in a world and you will live a life that is literally every pressure is going to be pulling you to believe that they're the same. And I know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that there have been times in my role that I've been performing really poor. And if I believed that that's who my identity was, I would spiral out of control. But thank God that I know my identity is a 10. And because of that, I was able to move this number up. Don't confuse the two. Don't confuse it. Social media will try to get you to believe they're the same. Marketing will try to get you to believe that they're the same. Outside conditions will try to get you to believe that they're the same. But my friend, I believe that you are a 10. Whether or not you believe that is another story, but I believe because God's word says that you've been built in His image. I believe it. I hope you embrace it. Until next time, God bless you.